Good afternoon, my friends. I hope all of you are having an awesome, fantastic day. I'm about to head out to the Universal Orlando Resort to talk all about Halloween Horror Nights 30 or HHN 2021 because Universal is already placing HHN props all throughout the park, so we have a lot to talk about and a lot to see. I hope you guys are ready because I am. Let's go do this. And just like that, I have made it here to City Walk, and as of this recording, masks are not mandatory, but this may change in the coming days with the new CDC guidelines, but it does look like it may rain. I did bring the umbrella, so I am prepared. The map that I will be using today comes from Horror Night Nightmares. If you guys want to go check them out, I'll be sure to leave their link down in the description. Also, as of today, we are only 37 days away from the start of Halloween Horror Nights 2021. It does look pretty crowded inside of the park today. Let's head inside and see what we can find. I made it inside of Universal Studios Florida, and we do have a brand new map, and I'll go ahead and place it right here so you guys can see the updated rumored houses and the updated scare zones. As of this recording, Universal has already announced the following houses: the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Universal Monsters The Bride of Frankenstein Lives, The Haunting of Hill House, which I am extremely excited for, and BeetleJuice. Holy cow, Despicable Me Minion Mayhem is a 100-minute standby wait right now. As soon as you enter the park, you can already see your first sign of Halloween Horror Nights. This is rumored to be the 30th anniversary scare zone. This scare zone already looks really cool. Looks like there's going to be a ton of lighting effects throughout. On top of the Shrek show building, we can already see some lighting for the event. It's happening, it's coming. I personally think this scare zone has the potential to be the best scare zone at this year's event. The first house I do want to talk about will be right in front of me, which would be The Bride of Frankenstein Lives. I got to go through that house plenty of times last year. I can't wait to see what the house has in store in full effect this year, as this storm is really coming in right now with the darker clouds, the winds blowing. I'm hoping this year the Scare Actor dining experience will return here to Universal Studios classic Monsters Cafe. Something fun is happening today. It's a hot set. Production in progress. The next house brings us here by Fallon, which is rumored to be the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Oh my goodness, I love those movies. I cannot wait to go through this house. The next two houses are not that far away, which would be right by the HHN Tribute Store. Right now it's still the Jurassic World Tribute Store, but I believe Universal will be closing this down within the week. But the rumored two houses that will be right here is Revenge of the Tooth Fairy, and another house that I'm really looking forward to this year called HHN Icons Captured. Let me talk about Revenge of the Tooth Fairy first. This is another house that I went through plenty of times last year, and I actually really enjoyed it a lot more than The Bride of Frankenstein Lives. I don't know, I just love HHN original houses. But like I said, another one I'm really looking forward to is the HHN Icons Captured, which is rumored to be the anniversary house this year. Oh yes, I love seeing these signs throughout the park. Pardon our dust, we are in the process of transforming our park for HHN. And look at this, we have a ton of props throughout this scare zone, and this is rumored to be Seek and Destroy. This looks awesome. We have like a pretty big stage right here. Don't be those guys, don't climb. Looks like there's going to be scare actors all over this place. Wow. You can also spot some temporary lighting on top of the buildings here for the scare zone. Ooh, look at this one. This kind of tells me my theory I have going here. So, of course, with everything going on this year with restrictions due to COVID, I think Universal will have a lot of scare actors on platforms. Like over here, there's going to be some scare actors on top of this, just to keep the scare actors safe and away from the large crowd that will be coming here for HHN. So we have like another kind of stagey area right here, a lot of props. This kind of looks like blood. And then look at this truck. Holy cow. I've been seeing this logo all throughout this scare zone. We have some barrels, do not climb. I'm not really seeing much of anything else. I like how rusted the truck looks. I'm very eager to see what this scare zone will actually be. Here's some newer props for this scare zone. I don't really know what they could do right here, I'm sure they'll have some fog and some scare actors scaring people right here. More containers. Not really seeing anything else right here. But this scare zone really looks cool. Here's another one, and the third one would be right down there, but they are numbered. That one says 3, we have 2, and we have 1. Coming up on what it looks to be the final prop as of right now in this scare zone. But I can tell you guys one thing, when something is covered with a tarp like this, it means a victim is under that. Not a real victim, of course, but a body. Wow. This looks intense. Moving on to the Halloween Lagoon show, which is returning this year throughout the night. The next scare zone brings us here to the exit of Fast and Furious Supercharged. Now, I don't know exactly what scare zone will be here because there's been so many rumors. I just have a quick update. This is future dev, but I just read another new rumor online. It is now rumored to be Crypt TV. Interesting. But I know one thing for sure, it always gets really crowded in this scare zone every single year. I know this will be a scare zone this year because we can see the lighting on top of the buildings here. This one too. Moving on by Diagon Alley. Now, every single year, nothing ever happens inside of Diagon Alley, but it is open during the event. So if you want a fast ride on Green Guides, or if you want some nighttime photos, that is the time to do so. Now, what you see right here in front of the London waterfront, which is Diagon Alley right here, I don't think these mean anything. I think this is just for lighting because it does get very dark in this area during the event. So extra lighting is much needed. I'm now moving on to the entertainment side of the event. Now, of course, this is the Fear Factor live stage, but it's not operating due to COVID, and also it is getting ready for HHN. In years past, this has been, of course, Bill and Ted's, which I loved. I was really hoping Universal would bring that show back this year, but I don't think that is happening. It has also been Academy of Villains. So this year, it is rumored to be a Jack show, which I am very excited about if that's the case. And the rumored name of the Jack show for this year is going to be called Carnival of Carnage. I just got a severe weather alert on my phone. A lot of rain is moving in. The thunder is already here. I'm glad I brought the umbrella today. I mean, Jack is the icon for this year's event, so it's only fitting he gets his own show. I know at HHN 25 he had his show, and it was amazing. It was funny. It was gory. Also, I can see a lot of lighting on the stage right now. I've seen videos on Instagram of music being played inside of the stadium, but again, we don't know what that has to do with the show. We don't know what's going on, but of course it is rumored to be a Jack show this year. And I'm sure you can see this show throughout the night with different show times, which would be placed right here and also up top on the big sign here. Moving on to the next house by Man in Black, we can already see the facade. Now, I apologize, I did not bring my long lens today, but this is going to be Welcome to Scarey. I switched over to my iPhone to give you guys a closer look, and yeah, check it out. On the other side of Man in Black, you can find 2 other houses, and the 2 houses are rumored to be the Wicked Growth and Puppet Theater. Over here in Krusty Land, every single year, you can find people chasing you with chainsaws, and I am terrified of chainsaws. I'm now here right next to E.T. the attraction to talk about the next 2 houses that will be here. Right here by the former home of the Barney Show, it is now DreamWorks Destination, but this is rumored to be The Haunting of Hill House, which I am extremely excited to go through. I think this has the potential to be one of the best houses for this year. On the other side of The Haunting of Hill House, you can find the BeetleJuice house. Now, don't say his name 3 times. Talking about BeetleJuice, now, I believe it was here for 2 days in last year's event, whatever they call it, HHN Light, HHN Half, that event of last year, 2020. We had Revenge of the Tooth Fairy, and we had The Bride of Frankenstein Lives for the 2 light houses of last year. I've done a full video. If you guys want to see that video, I'll be sure to leave it down in the description. It was, I believe, Halloween morning. Universal let the public know that, hey, for today only, we're gonna have the BeetleJuice house. Come on out. So everybody did, and the return times went in like 2 minutes. So by the time I found out, I was at Animal Kingdom Lodge doing a staycation with my family for Halloween. So I feel some type of way. I still do. So that makes me even more eager and even more excited to go through that BeetleJuice house. And let's not forget about all of the HHN food, the HHN treats, drinks all throughout the park. I feel like Universal has really stepped up their food game in the last few years. The next scare zone up is a scare zone themed around Terra. And we can already see this will be a scare zone. It is every single year, but they already have placed speakers all throughout the zone. We have some lighting stands with lights on there. It is for sure starting to take shape throughout this scare zone here. My favorite year was when they had, I believe it was HHN 27, when they had pumpkins all throughout these trees here. It is also rumored that Terra may have her own show, which would take place right here in this area, right by Central Park Crepes. And now to the final scare zone for today, and this is always the biggest scare zone in years past. This is rumored to be the Eddie scare zone this year. I'm now in front of Mel's Drive-In, and for the Halloween event, the lighting will actually change and say Mel's Die-In. Looks like the Born Stuntacular show just let out, but let's head inside this store and check out the new HHN 2021 preview merchandise. Check this out, for $30, they did restock. They have a new BeetleJuice t-shirt. I feel like I've already said his name 3 times. So BeetleJuice, please don't come after me. They also have the Bride of Frankenstein Lives t-shirt for $30 as well. I feel like the bride should be like on the front of the t-shirt. She's like small and this house is pretty much themed around her, but Frankenstein is still like the main character. I don't know. I just feel like the bride should be front and center. And look at this one from The Haunting of Hill House. I may buy this. I like it. I was really hoping for the bent neck lady to be on the shirt. Maybe for the event, but I do like this one. And the last shirt that's still available, this was actually the first shirt to be released of Jack. I'm back. I know you guys are ready. Yeah, I can see that by the way you guys are looking at me. Only 37 days away. Well, they did not have my size in that t-shirt, so I'll be sure to look for it the next time I'm here. Finally, I'm here to talk about the last house for this year's event, and well, we don't exactly know what's going to come here. It just says it's going to be an original house. It may be an IP, but the rumor online, it is going to be an original house. We don't know. I think Universal is going to surprise us all with this house. Of course, most of the Universal attractions inside of Universal Studios Florida will be open during the event with shorter wait times. All right, I have made it back to my car, and before I talk more about Halloween Horror Nights, I do want to talk about the, I guess, elephant in the room about COVID-19 cases. I really don't like talking about this on camera, so I'm gonna keep this short and brief, but I feel like this is pretty important to talk about right now. COVID right now here in the state of Florida is absolutely terrible. Cases are increasing by the second. It's just pretty bad right now here in Florida. The entire state, not just Central Florida, the entire state. As of last night, the CDC updated their mask policies for individuals in high areas of high transmission, and that is the entire state of Florida. It says if you're in an area of high transmission, you should wear a mask in public indoor settings, even if you're fully vaccinated. That's all I'm going to talk about regarding that subject, but I wanted to bring it up just because you have to wonder, not only for HHN, but where will theme parks head? What direction will they go? Just because of the new guidelines, because right now, currently, guests are allowed to come in their parks and not wear a face covering. They say you have to be fully vaccinated, but again, it's just based off a honor system right now. And now moving back over to HHN, you have to wonder, what will Halloween Horror Nights look like this year? I think now there will be some kind of restrictions in play, unfortunately. Just by judging from what I've seen today with the scare zones, it looks like Universal will have the scare actors on platforms higher up. And I feel like they may do that more inside of the houses. I don't know, it's just a thought. But I am very excited for this year's event, especially with not having this last year. I think the fans and Universal, the scare actors, we are all extremely excited for this year's event. I feel like over the course of the next few days, if not maybe a week or two, we should know the full lineup for this year's event. Just Universal has been kind of slowish to release and confirm houses and scare zones and shows, but I feel like we're 37 days away. We should start getting some announcements very, very soon. Also, I still haven't heard anything regarding Rush of Fear It's rumored to be coming out any day now, so I'm waiting. I did buy my opening day tickets. However, if Rush of Fear comes out, I'll just go back and hopefully return my tickets to get my Rush of Fear pass. Yeah, I just had a lot of fun today just walking around the park and seeing the props being put in place. Halloween is almost here. It's so close. I can feel it and taste it and smell it. I've already been to Bath & Body with Bianca and we bought our first fall candle. It's almost here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember, it's nice to be nice in YouTube. I'll see you in the next video. Prince Charming, out.
I ain't feeling lonely, and I wanna admit it's time to end the ride. Fading it too slowly, with those gonna lift me up this time. You were the only one who got me tripping up inside. All the words you told me.